think they're foreshadowing something. We had the comment yesterday where he said everything we do and everything we don't do is intentional, how it's not about winning in May. Guys, I think they're foreshadowing. They ain't going to have this big, bold offseason. I think Brad Holmes, obviously, he has earned a right to be very confident about his drafting. He's been very good at it. I think it's clear. You've heard Sheila Ford Hamp say it. You've heard Brad Holmes say it. It's draft, develop, re-sign. I think there's a little bit of him preparing the fan base. And hell, I'll lump myself right in there with it. No, we're not going to go out and sign A-listers. We're not going to make these bold moves. We like our guys, quote unquote. You may as well have a lapel pin on Lions front office executives. We like our guys. Now, whether that's right, wrong, or otherwise, hell, man, those are the debates. That's why we love sports. I happen to disagree with that mindset. I think you get high on your own supply. The minute you had a little bit of success, you now think that you get to buck the trend. You're going to be very insular. You're not going to finish the job with some high-end acquisitions. I don't think that's the right thing to do. And the basis for that argument is, I don't know, planet Earth? Watching the teams that are routinely contending for the Super Bowl in a post-Tom Brady era, I know the way they do business. Now, that doesn't mean you can't succeed your way. I will just tell you, I have my doubts that you will just draft, develop, and re-sign and win a Super Bowl. But I want to know, do you believe, is he foreshadowing the upcoming free agency period? Because free agency period has also become the trade window, Rico. Mm-hmm. I think they are largely going to sit out based on his comments there and based on his receipts.
Yeah.
Because that receipts routine, that's born out of I'm very smart and you're not.
Mm-hmm. I know what I'm doing. You need to trust me. And if you don't, get out of the way because you're going to see I'm going to build something here. I do agree. I do think that you're not going to see any great movement in free agency, maybe going to get one or two rental players, guys that you maybe want to take a one-year chance on.
The Suttons, the C.J. Gardner-Johnsons, the Mosleys, those are B and C level guys.
I mean, you know, Montgomery technically has the 3-year deal. I think Sutton has a multi-year deal, but it was really just kind of a one-year
but it's
deal.
small.
Right.
It's a $6 million deal, an $8 million. We're not, like, for instance, Doug said something, and I think it's spot on. Now, I think it's accurate. I think it's abhorrent if it's really their mindset, which was, well, they were never going to trade for Montez Sweat because they were never going to pay that extension. Then what the hell are we doing?
Right.
I mean, Montez Sweat is probably one of your top 10 edge guys in the league. Why wouldn't I make that deal? I don't care about pick 28, and I don't care about the money. I view it as Montez Sweat, Aiden Hutchinson together make X until I got to pay Aiden in 3 years, and Montez is gone. I got bookend edge rushers. I'm going to kill everybody.
Right. That's now every other team's problem. How do you block these two? Not my problem of how I pay them. I'm going to find the money to pay you guys. I'm going to keep this thing going. To sit here and say we're going to just do it our way with our players, we're going to draft them, we're going to develop them, and we're going to re-sign them. It does because it has a little bit of the feel like I'm smarter than you. I know what I'm doing. I have this formula. Different sport, very Billy Bean-ish with the Oakland A's. Tell me how many titles they've won. It's a smart, the analytics and the formula, it works to an extent. But then after that, if you're not willing to go the next step, you've capped yourself. You're never going to go higher than where you have. And I do think that this is where you have to say, okay, go get this piece, right, and we'll worry about it later on how we're going to pay him. But we got to have this person in here.
And if you're going to do this whole challenge routine, because I'm not paying fealty to Brad Holmes, like I can like the guy and think he's very good at his job, but I ain't going to drink his bathwater. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs, example A, you know how they're back in the Super Bowl? They rebuilt the O-line. Joe Thuney was a major free agent acquisition. Jawan Taylor was a major acquisition. Like, they took big swings up front to rebuild that O-line after their disastrous Super Bowl run prior. The Philadelphia Eagles, they fell apart this year. Rewind. They were you 2 years ago. They went out and understood we have to make a big investment in Jalen Hurts. We don't want a receiver. We want the receiver. They went out and got A.J. Brown and paid him an ungodly amount of money. Then they traded up and got Devontae Smith. They got to a Super Bowl and were one penalty from winning it. The point I'm making is, don't tell me what I'm preaching is false. It's not. What I don't have evidence of is a team being insular and eschewing largely free agent and trade market to simply draft, develop, and re-sign that is truly a consistent Super Bowl team. Look at Rico's team now. And you'll point out all their foibles. I can point out both. John Lynch never stops swinging. That's how they've had this 4-year run, bookended by Super Bowls with championship game appearances in between. So if you want to buck the trend, you have to then buy into that Brad Holmes is simply that much better than everyone else. Mm-hmm. I'm not comfortable in any sport saying that about any executive.
Because even if you don't want the Montez Sweat, yeah, Chase Young was there, and the people say, well, he took plays off. Yeah, he did. I can tell you. But you know what? The Niners will say he was worth the third-round pick because on the one play we needed him, he showed up.
Rico, they're going to get the pick back in the compensatory market in a year. I'm not mad at you.
No, but people are like, well, he took plays off. And
sure he did. He wasn't that good for the Niners. It's okay to say the quiet part out loud.
You just brought him in there for 1 or 2 plays, and he showed up on the 4th and 3. He was the one that broke containment and chased Goff out of the pocket when he underthrew Amon-Ra. So, yeah, they'll say, you know what? It was all worth it. He helped get us to the Super Bowl.
Right. Like I'm of the opinion, like if this offseason, let me give you a hypothetical, okay? And I hate doing this, but I have to offer a name. Like the Titans might be in a full rebuild. If Jeffrey Simmons becomes available via trade, you are GD right. I want to be David's making the phone signal. You put him next to Aleem McNeil.
That's what No.
But it sounds like, and again, see, this is the laugher.
Lions culture. 2 words of why that phone call will never happen.
Okay, then I seriously question whether they'll ever win a Super Bowl. I don't think it's a lot like the NBA now, people. I don't think you can just draft and develop and win in the NBA. Sorry. The NHL, I'd hate to break it to you. It's the same effing thing. There is no way. Now, baseball could be the outlier. But it is also a sport that doesn't feature a salary cap. So you could draft and develop technically and stockpile an insane amount of young players.
Oh, no. But Simmons, I'm just saying because of the outside things that he doesn't fit the Lion culture, you're not going to bring that into the into the locker room. So
listen, this isn't the 1974 Steelers where everything's homegrown.
David, I understand.
Football's not like that anymore.
I don't think sports is.
It's not. NBA, nothing like that. I mean, yesterday we were talking about the Pistons looking at Miles Bridges. Not a good guy right now. Not a good guy last year. Not a good guy right now. Even though he just went out and scored 40, still lots of baggage. You deal with that baggage.
I want to know from the people. A, do you believe Brad Holmes is foreshadowing the plan for the offseason? And if that's the case, do you question whether it's going to give you the best opportunity to win a Super Bowl? I get very nervous. They had a taste of success. It's a very good football team, and he's a very good drafter. But if you're not going to use the trade market and you're not going to get involved in a big way in free agency, I question whether you can truly get to the mountaintop. I've given you evidence of why with real-time teams and how they do business.
Yeah, but they're going to say, our way worked. Look where it took us.
Oh, are you playing this weekend? No.
No. I get what you're saying, Mike. But the worst thing that happened was, you know what? That's why he did the receipts. See, guys, our way worked. Look how far we got. Don't you ever question me again.
Well, you got to a point where you get to watch the Super Bowl like everybody else. See, now I told you wouldn't like what came out of the speakers after that game. Because now it's Super Bowl or bust. What am I going to rest on? You think if they win the division and win a playoff game next year, I'm happy? Hell no. It is the Lombardi Trophy and a parade down Woodward or nothing. So you can do receipts or not you, I'm saying.
Right.
Do whatever you like. That does not offend me in the least.
No, but I think that's why you saw him going up there. You guys told me I needed to do this and I need to do that. I didn't do what you said to do. Look how far I got this team. I'm just going to reinvest in this team. We'll be back next year.
Okay, and I challenge that belief based on the marketplace and how the sport works. That's all. I don't think that that's some terrible opinion.
Because everybody's out there trying to get better, not just you.
248-539-9797. Rico.